Hello guys, this is Casey Blake from Environmental Science Section 8FG Fall 2023 class. And in the rubric, it did say to show my picture ID. So just go ahead and show it here. I don't know if you can see it, but Casey Lawan Blake. Uh, yeah, it's me. Yeah, easy. Okay. But basically, uh, the passage we're going to talk about for the semester project is I chose a passage called Elderly's Activist Non-Civic Actions Exposing Nuclear Threats at Oak Ridge, Tennessee, United States. And so I'm going to just start with the introduction. Okay, so introduction. Oak Ridge in Tennessee is a complex of government nuclear facilities. Mega Rice, is this girl, yeah, named Mega Rice, and two other activists infiltrated one of the buildings to expose nuclear military threats and basically went to jail for it later on. And Oak Ridge, or also known as like the secret or Atomic City, is basically a base that was dedicated to the war efforts during the Manhattan Project and the Cold War. So on September 19, 1942, Colonel Leslie Groves and the federal government claimed over 821 hectares, if I'm pronouncing right, of land along the Clinch River to basically use as a secret base for producing uranium for nuclear bombs. And the reason why the land was chosen was because of its like rural location, and it was in their favor for keeping the bomb project hidden, and it was like also close to a hydropower dam that can move a very big amount of electricity in the manufacturing. And people already living in the area were mainly forced to leave with a notice of less than 2 weeks and were given hardly any compensation, while some didn't even get any compensation at all without even knowing the reason why they had to move out in the first place. So basically, I'm going to just head on and go to the summary. So the woman that I mentioned earlier, Megan Rice, she basically was trying to expose the secret of nuclear armament for the U.S. And Megan Rice was basically a woman who was a nun within the Society of the Holy Child Jesus and taught science to females in rural Nigeria area while she was basically obtaining her master's degree in radioactive biology at Boston College. So she moved back to the U.S. and began campaigning against nuclear warfare and testing in 2003, especially motivated by the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings as well as her experience in Nigeria, where she became furious that the United States would basically win to spend so much on nuclear weapons, but became uninterested in addressing urgent humanitarian needs. And the passage claims that the United States spent $509 billion, or 3.1% of the gross national product, on defense in the 2017 fiasco year. And basically, more information, or it was basically more information. So, basically, her most notable act was civil disobedience, into which she basically was arrested 40 times over like the civil disobedience, but her most noticeable one was July 28, 2012 at around 2:30 a.m. where she and two other Plowshare activists, Michael and Gregory, entered the Whitetail National Security Complex, which is basically uranium storage facility in Oak Ridge. There was one of the buildings that stored the radioactive material that like a huge bleached fortress known as the Fort Knox of uranium, and it was heavily secured to the point where trespassers can be shot dead with no hesitation. So with her being 82 years old at the time, Megan and the other activists broke in the fences with bolt cutters and walked inside with no alarms or an occurrence happening for a couple of hours as time went by. The Department of Energy Office of Inspector General found crime tape, a Bible, white roses, and painted messages on the walls such as "The fruit of justice is peace" and "Woe to an empire of blood." And around the base of the fortress the three activists walked up to a security guard that was armed and loaded, into which they were lighting candles and also singing to him. They wanted to share bread with the security guard and read about blaming the U.S. government for its nuclear modernization program to the guards. But basically, Rice and Megan Rice and her fellow activists were thankfully never killed, but were basically sentenced instead of 20 years in prison and $100,000 dollars fines and damages under the charges of sabotage, trespassing, and depredation of government property on February 18, 2014. So basically, in 2015, there were a new, I want to say a new, like, basically a federal charge that talks about that she had to re-sentence based on that conviction. And basically, because of that, she was basically released from prison because of the 2 years she had served was already more than what she had been convicted for under the new sentence. So with her coming on that situation, she had everybody disagree with her stance. However, she did have a little support from within the Catholic Church for like a lot of controversy. So what do I think about it? Basically, I think the convict is important because that is one way to show environmental justice. In my opinion, I don't think that's the correct way to show environmental justice. Just basically just trespassing, but at the same time, she's doing what she believed in, and she basically just wanted to know answers on like why do the government do this. And basically, what I learned is if you're dedicated to something, if you're dedicated to showing environmental justice, I mean, like just do it, but just do it in a proper way. Into which they did give out the new sentencing because of the way she did it, into which she had less time to serve, but at the same time, I still think it's a proper, like an improper way of showing environmental justice. But other than that, that's why I think it's my intro summary and basically my the lesson learned. And so yeah, that's it for the video.